Hello everyone. I think it's safe to say there's only one subject that I can start this video blog with, and that's with the announcement of the £25 million that the government has allocated to help hospices in what's been a really difficult year. I've been up and down the country meeting with so many of you, and I can honestly say that since 1967, the year that Cecily Saunders established St Christopher's, we've never had such a challenging year, with costs rising, demands increasing, and just some real difficulties in making ends meet. I know that 2/3 of you have told me that you're having to run deficit budgets this year. Now, of course, 25 million is not going to solve all of that. It's just really a first step to try and take some of the pressure off. What I'm really pleased about actually is that the government have committed to this long-term structural review, which we'll be starting to work on with NHS England, and we'll be getting you all involved in that over the coming months. So the big work now is to look at how the £25 million will be allocated, and to make sure that we work with the devolved nations as well, to make sure that Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland get a fair settlement. That's going to take a bit of time. We'll be sending out regular communications and we'll let you know how and when you can be involved. But I really do think this is a good first step. We are not going to let up on the government. We are going to make sure that hospices stay in the media and that we're giving balanced feedback both on the positives and the great work that the sector's doing, but also on the fact that this is a challenging financial time, and to keep delivering the amazing care that we're delivering day in and day out, we need fair funding for that. So I'd like to take the opportunity for thanking all of you who've been involved on social media, on telling your story in the media, whether you've been to Downing Street, whether you've written letters. Every single one of you has been involved in getting this 25 million. So I want to just pause and say an enormous thank you to all of you, and to please ask that we keep on keeping on and telling our story. So I just wanted to summarise where we are. And by the time you watch this, things may have changed because we're having discussions hourly. But we've managed to get the pensions increase covered for England, for Wales, for Scotland, and we're in conversations with Northern Ireland. We've managed to get this £25 million allocated for this year to help hospices in England, and we're working with Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland to get a similar amount for hospices, just to help with the increased cost this year and the increased pressure. And finally, we managed to hold the government to account and make sure that the £25 million Children's Hospice grant announced at the end of December will go to children's hospices. And we're working with those children's hospices to agree a fair allocation and how that's going to work out over the next 4 to 5 years. I'm really pleased with where we've got to. We've got to carry on pushing. But I remember saying to you all at our national conference 2 years ago, you're all phenomenal. And you absolutely are. I couldn't be prouder to be walking side by side with you all. Of course, all of this means that it couldn't be more important to be able to tell our story. And that's why we've gone for a slightly harder hitting theme this year for Hospice Care Week, which will be running for the 7th to the 13th of October. So please do get that in your diaries. What we've gone for is a theme called This Is What It Takes, and you can completely tailor that to your own hospice. So of course we can go for the softer stories. We can talk about how many volunteers it takes, how many people running marathons it takes, how many cups of tea it takes. But we can also go for those harder hitting stories, because what I want to get across to people is that hospice care isn't nice to have. It's not an additional extra that if we can't afford it we can do without. It's complex healthcare that people and families rely on, whether it is that end-of-life care, whether it's the bereavement support, whether it's the counselling, whether it's the aromatherapy and the care for carers, whether it's the hospice at home or the community neighbours. It is absolutely essential for people's health and well-being, not only for people at the end of their life, but for their families as well, and for the communities they live in. So we've got to use it to tell our story. I'm going to be really interested to see how you all use this. And of course, at Hospice UK, we'll be forwarding tweets and going on social media and making sure that we share as many of your stories as possible. Now, another big part of Hospice Care Week, of course, is Go Yellow. And many of you will have enjoyed watching me being gunged last year, and I'm happy to announce it's not happening again. But many people up and down the country will be, and I'll be sharing those stories as well, and I'll be looking forward to being the other side of the bucket this year. But I just want to make sure that we all use this opportunity to celebrate and tell our story and really go big this year for Hospice Care Week. So we're still officially in summer, but it doesn't feel very far away until our national conference this year on the 20th to the 22nd of November. And I'm really pleased that we're back in Liverpool and we're going again for a harder hitting theme called Dying for Change. So we're going to be focusing on evolution and talking about what we can all do practically to help our hospice and change what we do and become more efficient and reach more patients and families. But we're also going to be focusing on revolution as well. So I want you to come along with your thinking caps on and be prepared to really think about bold new ways that we can get out there, put joint ventures together and help more people. I'm really excited to see what's going to come out of it. I've also been excited to see all the abstracts coming through, and there's been a great deal of excitement on social media, seeing people talk about the posters and presentations that have been accepted. I can't wait to go and see some of those sessions and meet as many of you as possible, because we've had a really high quality of submissions this year and it's been very, very difficult to choose. We've also got some cracking speakers as well. So if you haven't signed up to come to conference this year, please do so. Please go on our website and sign up. As I say, 20th to the 22nd of November, and do take advantage of some of those early bird rates. And I have another date for your diaries, and that's the 13th of September, which is the deadline for the Hospice UK Annual Awards. Please do have a think about who you can nominate, and that might be a staff member or a project or a volunteer. We've got so much to celebrate in the hospice world, and I want to see as many people nominated as possible. We've got some great new categories as well, so do take a look out for our Dementia Award, for example. But if you go online to the Hospice UK website before September the 13th, get your nominations in, and then we'll be handing out the awards with the National Garden Scheme at the conference in Liverpool. Amidst everything that's been going on, I can barely believe it's only been a few months since Dying Matters Week. And once again, it was phenomenally successful back in May. We had more than 400 people taking part up and down the country in a whole range of different events. I'd like to say a huge thank you to NHS England, who featured us on the first day of the campaign. We had a huge amount going on social media, on Twitter, on Facebook. And if you haven't yet caught up with our podcast, we've got a second season with some fantastic new guests. So please do go and check that out. Now, I'd also like to make a plug for the 1st of October, and that's our HR conference with special guest Owen O'Kane. It's going to be an unmissable event in Coventry. Again, we know that there are so many issues around workforce and so much opportunity for shared learning. So please do come and join us. It should be a great day. Now, as I said at the start of the update, it's been a challenging year, but there's no more uplifting a place to work than in the hospice movement. And there are times this year that I have laughed out loud. None more so than in July, when I saw on YouTube St. Teresa's Hospice had put out a video of a horse race with pantomime horses. If you haven't seen it, please go and check it out. It is absolutely hysterical. So I just want to finish by saying thank you so much. Thank you for making it such an amazing place to work, so vibrant, that we all come together and make things happen. And I look forward to walking side by side with you in the coming months. Thank you.